All right,
Let's do it.
97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and tonight we actually have the one and only, we got the legendary Breeze of the L.A Posse right here live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
I'm good, brother. I'm good, man. How's everybody out there?
Everyone out here is doing pretty good, man. Just trying to get through this last little bit of the whole COVID situation, man. We're going through steps down here, man. But I heard California's open right back up, man. So it must be good to kind of get back to normal life.
You know what? We was open up for a minute, but I guess they hit us with the remix. So the COVID remix is out here, man. So stuff is out here going crazy, man. So who knows, man? I hope they don't try to lock us back down again. But hey, man, we take it how they give it.
But Breeze, I want to take. I know you're a very busy guy, man. So I'm going to dive right into this interview, man. But I want to take you back to a much simpler time, man. I want to ask, man, like, what actually inspired you to get into the music industry initially, man? Because you're such a, in my personal opinion, you're like a West Coast hip hop pioneer, man. Like you've been doing this for so many years.
Well, originally, I got into music because my mother actually was a singer, and she actually was doing a lot of singing, and she had a singing group, and she performed at a lot of places in New York. I'm originally from New York. I didn't move to California until I was like 14, and by the time I moved to California, the hip hop scene was already, relevant and thriving in New York. I was a big fan of the music and, listened to all the music and went to the park jams and all of that, but never really like kind of just delved into it until I moved to California. And then once I got to L.A., I kind of just wanted to kind of keep my roots as far as being from New York and L.A. And so that's when I really just started to take to rapping real tough. And, they was rapping here in LA, but it was like a little bit different. So, I kind of felt like I had a little jump as far as hip hop is concerned. But, over the years, I developed, my sound to where it became, what everybody, came to hear as that Young Son of No One album.
And I gotta say as well, man, in my personal opinion, man, you're one of the best, like, just lyrical flowers, man, that act from the West Coast, man. In my personal opinion, like that, just that solo record of yours, man, was an absolute masterpiece.
Well, I thank you. I thank you a lot, man. Hello?
Oh, hello, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, but I hear like music playing in my ear.
Really?
Oh, hold on. I know what happened. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah. You know what? I tell you, being, growing up and getting the history lesson that I got in it. Why I came in an era where it was all about lyrics. For me, it was just all about lyrics. It's like you can't say certain words other people saying. You had to be original in everything that you was doing. So, I focused that a lot on that, just being original. And, the cats that, actually helped produce, which is L.A Posse, which is my whole team there, we put a lot of work in it. And, I was originally signed, what people don't know is I was originally signed to Def Jam Records when I was 16. I think I signed my contract when I was like 16 and a half, 17. And I was on the label for probably about 3 years. I was on there for 3 years. I recorded probably about 100 songs, and nothing ever came out, from that project. But, the one good thing that happened out of that whole thing is my production team ended up, producing LL Cool J's album. His next 2 or 3 albums, they did the Big Endeavor album, they did the Walking with a Panther album. And then basically after my deal basically just ran out, that's how we moved over to Atlantic, and then that's how we got to put out that Tyson project.
And I just have to ask as well, going back to the Def Jam side of things. So I actually didn't personally I didn't know that. Like obviously it's been quite a number of years. Do you think like with the internet the way it is nowadays, do you think maybe some of those projects or songs might actually see the light of day?
Probably not, because let's be real. That's music that was 30 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really that relevant today. But I will tell you this. And most of the records back then was on You know how that go. It's cassettes and things of that nature. But you know what? My man Muffler, who was part of L.A. Posse, he actually found some of the songs that we recorded with Def Jam. He sent me about 10 of them. So I mean, I have about 10 of the 50 plus that I did.
And I gotta say, you know what I mean? It must be kind of cool to actually go back and actually just kind of hear how you were and how much you grew over the years as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a trip. I mean, voice is a little different. Cadence changed over the years. You can tell where I was thinking mentally on whatever kind of song that I made at that time because, I was a very, I wore my heart on my sleeve. So basically, whatever you heard me rapping about, I was either experiencing it or thinking about doing it. Very rare was there just something we just made up just to be made up, So it was just crazy just to hear some of the stuff that I was thinking back at that time.
And also as well, before we actually move off the topic of your solo record, Young Son of No One, I also remember as well that I remember on the credits actually DJ Pooh actually produced one of the tracks on your record. I was wondering how did actually you guys actually get connected with DJ Pooh, and of course, what was it like having him just kind of putting his touch on your record?
Okay, he produced the song, if I'm not mistaken, he produced a song called Going Through a Phase. The way it originally happened is my original first DJ was DJ Bobcat. I'm sure y'all know who DJ Bobcat is. Bobcat went on to be LL Cool J's DJ, but he was originally my DJ. And what had happened was, since we was on Def Jam recording these records, and like I said, when I got signed, I was still in school. So I was like, if I'm not mistaken, I think I was like going to my senior. I think I was going to my senior year in high school or something like that. And then so I couldn't be in New York to just record nonstop. So I would have to record during Thanksgiving, during winter break, during spring break, during the summer. So they was out there. The production team was out there. I mean, they were already grown men. So when they was started to record and do things for LL Cool J, Bobcat came to the studio one day because they needed scratching on the record. So they called Bobcat to come down there. So Bobcat, scratched on LL Cool J's record, and from there, obviously, LL liked what he heard, so he asked him if he could DJ for him. And Bob had enough, loyalty to me to come to me and say, "Yo, you know what? He asked me to do this, but look, I won't do it if you don't want me to." I'm like, "Look, bro, you've been trying at this as long as I've been trying at this, and if you got a chance to get out there right now, man, get out there, man. You never know. You can make some money, you can travel the world, a whole nine. We still boys. Don't worry about it." And so his plan was, okay, look, I'm going to go do this with LL, but I'm going to get you another DJ. And I'm like, who? He said DJ Pooh. I already knew DJ Pooh, but, he's the one that hooked Pooh up with me, and Pooh actually was my second DJ, and that's how he got to produce the song Going Through a Phase. And, that's how DJ Pooh came along the project. And also, he lent us, some production hands to some of the other stuff that L.A. Posse was doing. So, Pooh was part of the L.A. Posse as well.
And also, speaking of the LA Posse, as we already know, man, that you were actually a co-founder of that group. But I have to ask you, how, going back, like, what's the story behind that group? Like, how did you actually initially meet all the main members? Like, how did the LA Posse become the LA Posse?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I mean, it's simple. I was a kid in high school that used to just rap and battle whoever from school to school and, do stuff like that. And, so it just so happens that the two main producers, the main producer, Muffler, and there's also Big Dad, that's part of the LA Posse, part of the production team. I was going to school with Big Dad's girlfriend's little brother. So they was in this group called Uncle Jam's Army, which was a big party promotion group out here. They was real big in the 80s and the 90s. And so basically, my friend brought me over to him, like, yo, this dude at my school that could rap real good, yada, yada, yada. I met him. Then from meeting Daryl, who's Big Dad, we met up with Muffler. Muffler is the main producer from L.A. Posse. And what happened was there was, I got with them, and, we produced a couple of records together. And a music convention in California called the BRE, the Black Radio Exclusive. So we went down to the BRE. We had our tape, and that's where a lot of artists came down. A lot of unsigned artists tried to hook up with executives trying to get deals, and Russell Simmons was very prevalent, at that point at the BRE. So I mean, it was like there used to be like a line every day of people lined up trying to play Russell demo tapes and stuff like that. So, and we watched them reject. I was probably like 25th in line, and we seen him reject everybody. And so basically what happened was when we got there and we played my tape, he rewound it, he played it again, and then he said, yo, I'm going to put y'all on a plane. So I was like the only one that got offered to be signed to Def Jam from that convention. So fast forward to how we became L.A. Posse. When we got out to New York, we got to hang out with some of the artists, and one of the cats, God bless the dead, who was a very close friend of ours, who used to take us around. I already knew New York, but he used to show my friends around, was Jam Master Jay. And one day we was in the car with Jam Master Jay. We was hanging out, going to nightclubs. And you got to remember, I'm 16, 17 going into nightclubs with these dudes. But one day Jam Master Jay said, well, I know his name is Breeze. I know you're Muffler. Or I don't even think he was Muffler at the time. He was just Dwayne. And then the other dude, Daryl, they were just Daryl and Dwayne and Breeze. He was like, well, what do y'all call yourself? And he was like, what do you mean? He was like, y'all don't got a name? Like, you don't have a name y'all call yourself? And we was like, nah, I'm Breezy, they the rapper. He said, you know what? Well, I'm going to make up a name for y'all. First he said, like, I'm going to call y'all the L.A. Crew. And it was like, well, everybody does that. And then back then, around that time, Posse was a big word. So it went from the L.A. Crew to, I'm going to call y'all the L.A. Posse. So basically, Jam Master Jay is the one who came up with that name and named us the L.A. Posse.
And I gotta say, that's pretty monumental, man. Being able to have someone like JMJ be able to give you guys your name, and you guys are still going today, and now you guys are a household name just like he is.
Well, you know what? We ain't quite the household name he is, but I mean, we did, made our nice little contribution into hip hop, and just like you said, it was just a privilege and an honor just to be able to be schooled and hang around that cat, and get wisdom from him, and matter of fact, Muffler even produced beats to the rhyme. I don't know if you know on the Down with the King album. But I think it's called Down with the King, one of them albums. But Muffler produced that song Beats to the Rhymes. He did the drum patterns on that, so he even got to produce for them as well. So I mean, and then they also got together, Muffler and Jam Master Jay, and produced the Real Rock Fans album. So I mean, he was a real influential and somebody we definitely owed a lot to.
By the sounds of it, JMJ definitely took you guys under his wing and showed you guys the ropes.
Yeah, definitely. Not only him, but also Run and DMC. They was all cool too. I mean, Run and DMC. We didn't hang out with Run and D as much as Jay. That's because Jay was always in the streets. He's out in the club. Run DMC is Run DMC. Even though Jam Master Jay is part of the whole thing, but Run and DMC was like, hey, that's Run DMC. You don't see them just hanging out by themselves, going to stores and going to clubs. Nah, but Jay was still that dude, even though he was super famous. He still was like a regular dude, driving around in the car, going to clubs, get out, the whole nine. You wouldn't even think he was like this, the DJ for Run DMC. He was just a cool dude like that.
And also, as well, taking it back to the West Coast, man, you were actually featured on the single titled Play Like a Piano in the year 1990 alongside King T and Ice Cube. I was wondering, what was it like being in the studio with Ice Cube and actually just working alongside him so early on? Because I believe 1990 was just the time when he just got away from NWA and went solo.
Well, you know what? Me personally, me and King T has been down with each other from day one. I mean, I was on pretty much every one of his, I think, first 3 or 4 albums that we did. The first song we did was Just Clowning with Mixmaster Spade, and then we did Play Like a Piano, and then after that we did Freestyle Ghetto with Exhibit, J-Ro, and Alcoholics, and the rest of them. But the Play Like a Piano song, it just was just like every other thing. thing. It's like, yo, what you doing? Nothing, chilling. Yo, come down to the studio, get on my album. I'm like, okay, cool. And so, you know, when the beat came up, it was like, oh, wow. You know, instantly it was like, you know, that was fire. So, but I will tell you this. I didn't, Cube wasn't there when I recorded. I think Cube had already laid his verse. If I'm not mistaken, I think he had like already laid his verse, and King T already laid his verse, so it was just him and Cube on it. But you know, his whole thing was like, I know the perfect person to end this record off. So that's why he called me, and I ended up coming down there, and you know, I did what I thought was justice to the record to end it off the right way. I mean, even though there's another verse of King T after mine, but you know, his whole thing was like, and, you know, as far as getting me on it, he felt that it was like, you know, the perfect piece of the puzzle.
And also, as well, going into the 2000s, you were actually, in 2008, you were actually featured on Where Are They Now, West Coast remix by the one and only Nas, man. I was wondering, how did that collaboration come to be? And of course, what was it like just taking part in that amazing project, man? Because he really shined the light on so many legendary hip-hop pioneers like yourself.
Wow, man, you done your history, boy. You are very knowledgeable. Not too many people know about that song, so I'm definitely gonna give you props on that one. Or maybe they know about it, they just don't tell me about it. So for you to bring it up, man, that's kudos to you, man. But that was one of them. Actually, Nas had commissioned Bobcat to do that record. So, and you know, he was trying to get one from, you know, he already did the one. He did his version. Then he wanted like another, like a South version. He wanted a West Coast version. He wanted like, you know, from different places where hip hop was, you know, was doing its thing. So Bobcat's the one that actually put me in on that project. And you know, along with, I think, who else was on there? Candyman, a bunch of us was on there. And so it was cool to do, you know, and it also was just cool to, you know, be around some of my peers and get on a record where a lot of us all that was on that record all used to say, man, we should do a record together. I mean, not like a huge collaboration like that, but just a record together. So for the fact that we kind of all finally got to get on a record together was, you know, it kind of brought the whole thing full circle, because not only being a part of a project that Nas put together, but also getting a chance to be on the same record as a bunch of my peers that I, you know, respected lyrically as well.
And I have to ask, well, because I've always wondered this, because of course 2008 is kind of like the rise of the, you know, internet features and whatnot. Like, did you guys all gather in the studio with Nas as well, or did you guys just kind of separate and just kind of you did your pieces in each studio and kind of sent it off to him to like kind of wrap it up himself?
Nah, actually, you know what? That was one of the few songs where all of us actually came to the studio. You know, there was a studio out in Cali that we all went to, and we all came and did the record. I mean, you know, obviously we all came at different times. Some made it later than the others, but everybody you hear on that record, we all was in the studio at one point recording that song.
And I gotta say, that's actually monumental, man, because especially like that sort of that day and age, it was kind of the rise of the internet, you know. So it was really cool that you guys actually came together and did it in the same studio booth.
Exactly. And you know, that's what I said was the joy of that, just being able to be around them. Because I mean, you got to think, man, a lot of us, you know, wasn't in touch with each other. I mean, everybody doing their own thing, so it was kind of like a, you know, kind of like a nice little reunion that we got to have. And also, it was also kind of like competitive as well, because, you know, you put a bunch of MCs in a room together, you know, regardless whether we sing it or not, we all want the best verse. So everybody's going to try to do their best. So, I mean, you know, not only was it good for us to all get together, but, I mean, you know, also brought out some competitive juices as well.
And also on January 12th, 2020, you actually revealed on Instagram that you actually have a new artist by the name of Felly the Voice. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about your newer artist. And of course, what can we actually expect from him this year in 2021? Because I checked out a little bit of his work, and I gotta say, he is an absolute monster on the microphone.
You know what, man? Felly, we've been working with Felly, man, for, I'll say for about 6-7 years, man, somewhere around there. He's actually a very, very prolific songwriter. And when I say prolific, I mean he's written for everybody, basically. Matter of fact, this year, whenever Chris Brown puts out his new album, he actually wrote In My Bed for Chris Brown's last album. He has 5 songs. I think he wrote 5 or 6 coming out on Chris Brown's new joint. He's right now working with Usher. He worked with Queen Naija. He was just doing some stuff with Babyface. I mean, this dude does stuff for everybody. I mean, even gospel artists, everything. Did some stuff with Cardi B. I mean, his pen game is ridiculous. But you know what? The dude can also sing his butt off. So it's like some of the songs that we would hand in to artists, it's like they would be like, yo, I love the song, but I can't sing that song because the way Felly sang it, they can't sing it like that. So it's like, you know, sometimes he would have to dumb down his songs a little bit. So it was like a no-brainer to be like, you know what, why don't you step forward and just become an artist? So basically, we trying to push him forward, you know, to be an artist. And actually, we got a project that'll be coming out this year. It's called From the Hood with Love. We actually put out, we did like a little soft thing and release something on SoundCloud. It's called God Love the Hood Niggas. It's out. I don't know if it's still out there, but we just shot a video for him. We got a single coming out. We're probably going to make it happen within the next couple of months because he's still busy, you know, writing and doing a lot of other work that he's been commissioned to do. But he got this song called Crazy Girls. That's crazy. It's crazy. We shot the video for him and everything. So y'all look out for Felly the Voice, man. I mean, not only, you know, him as an artist, but you'll be shocked to know when you start reading some of these credits on some of y'all favorite artists that he's writing a lot of this stuff that you hear these cats singing.
And also as well, man, on April 5th of 2021, Master C actually premiered his music video titled Legend, featuring yourself, J-Ro of the Alcoholics, and other legendary artists. I was wondering, how did yourself and Master C get connected, and of course, what was it like just taking part in that monumental project?
Well, you know what? Me and Master C go way back, man. Me and Master C used to go to high school together. So, like, he was a DJ back in the day. I was rapping. I was actually on Def Jam back in the day, and I remember I used to come to school with my Def Jam coat on and all that. But that was my boy, you know. And all through high school, we always hung out. Even as I was doing the Breeze thing, and you know, from L.A. Posse and the Tyson album, you know, we always stayed in contact. And you know, and it was one of those things where he wasn't producing; he was more just DJing. And, you know, kind of like, you know, over the years, he just morphed into, you know, producing. And, you know, it's funny, man. I hadn't seen him, I probably think I would say maybe like 5, 6 years. Could probably even be a little bit longer. And I hadn't seen him, and I seen him someplace. And it was like, yo, got a little spot downtown. Yo, you should come down. Boom, boom, hear what I'm doing. I said, yeah, okay. And I ain't never really heard his production. I just heard him as a DJ. So I ain't gonna lie, man. I was just like, you know what? Oh, yeah, like just like everybody raps, everybody sings, everybody acts, everybody does something here in California. But that's my boy though, and I was just like, okay. He like, yo, come through. So soon as I get there. It's funny, like, soon as I get there, as I walk in, it's him, it's Tony Hasbun, it's Queen Mother Asia, she's there, somebody else is there, and they all looking at me as I'm walking in. I'm like, okay, what's going on? Like, I'm saying, what's up? And then, you know, we chilling out, you know, take a little sip of something, a little smoke or something. Then all of a sudden he was like, yo, I got something I want you to hear. And I'm like, I knew it. It's a setup. You didn't just call me down here to hang out with you. It's a setup. So basically, he played a beat. He said, I got a beat to play for you. And personally in my mind, I was like, I hope it ain't that good. I don't feel like rapping right now. But he actually played me a beat, and it's one of the songs. It's another song that's on the Legend project. I'm actually on 4 of those songs, 4 songs on that project. Because you know, he played me the beat, and then I ended up just writing to it right there. It's a different song. It's a song called Pretty Pretty that I did. But then the next time, you know, after that, I came back, and as I'm walking through the hallway trying to get to the studio, I heard the Legend beat playing, and I was like, ooh. And as soon as I opened the door, I said, "Yo, who is that beat for?" He goes, "It's something I'm just making." I said, "Well, I'm gonna get on it right now." And because from when I learned about being in the music business and being on tracks with other people, you want to ensure you're going to be on a song, be first to get on it, set the tone. So I'm like, I'm gonna set the tone on the record. So that's how I came up with the, no disrespect to Will Smith, but yo, I Am Legend. I jumped on the record, and then Chingras Pedro, he came in and just hit the hook. And then, we had it there, and then J-Ro came like a few days later. King T was supposed to get on the song, but he was a little tied up to where he couldn't make it by the time we were just trying to get everything finished. But King T was supposed to end that record, but that never happened. But, yeah, man. And, since then, we've been working a lot together lately, so that's how I got to be on more than just that one record. The Legendary Project it's dope. I mean, he got Nocturnal on it. He got Medusa on it. He got a few people on that project that's dope. So, and besides that, I'm doing a little something too as well that I'll introduce you to as well. I definitely want your ear on that, to bend your ear with that, and hopefully get some support from you as well. Besides the Legendary Project.
And also, as well, man, another new feature that you actually took part in was actually Noise Make a Music song Chin Check. I was wondering, how did that collaboration come to be, and of course, what was it like just working alongside that very talented young artist?
Wow, boy, you know it. Well, actually, Noise Maker, my man Chase Clark, he's actually I've been knowing him for years, and I actually helped him get his start in the game like a long time ago. But he's went on to do a lot of things in the music industry, and basically he's my main producer. I got like a little group thing that I'm doing with my homeboy Jock Fan, and we have this group that we do. It's called GMB, which is short for Grown Man Business. We're actually just shot a video and getting ready to release a song off the Grown Man Business project. It'll be out probably next month because we just finished the video, so we're going to get everything ready. So give me about 3 weeks to a month. It'll be out. It's called The Realist. And, Chase Clark basically produced the whole GMB project. So there's going to be a lot of music coming out, from the GMB Grown Man Business project. But Noisemaker, who is Chase Clark, he actually has his own little label situation. He has a few artists. He got Chen, but Chen, just so y'all know, Chen is actually going to change his name to BL Smooth because there's too many people on, I guess, Spotify called Chen or Chin or whatever the case may be. So he's going to change it to BL Smooth. But, we just met him, and, just from him hearing us rap and stuff, he just wanted us on the record. And, he's also a very cool individual, and plus, he's down with my guy, Chase, Noise Making Music, so it was a no-brainer. Matter of fact, we actually featured, I think, on his project, on Chen's project, we're on that song, She's Gone Forever. We're on another one called City Lights. So we on like a few songs, and he also has another chick out there. I don't know if y'all heard of her, but if y'all haven't, y'all need to check her out too. Her name is J-Mo Too Solid. She's got songs out on Spotify right now. She has a song called Wasted. My Life is a Movie. Her project out now is called I think it's called My Life is a Movie. But she just put out like a 5-6 song EP that's getting out like a lot of positive feedback. I know she's over 100,000 just on streams just on Spotify. So she's about to take off, and she's very talented. She writes her own music. She's an extraordinary artist, man. She walks in the studio and within an hour she's coming out with a full song. So not only check out Chen, but make sure you check out J-Mo Too Solid as well.
But also, Breeze, I know we only covered maybe a sliver of your legendary career this evening, man, because I know it's so extensive. But I have to ask, man, is there anything we actually missed during this interview? Anything else you still want to talk about or promote? What would stop you here live on the Canadian airwaves?
Well, like I said, man, I just want to I'm just happy to just two things I always want to get across to every interview that I do, and number one is just the history behind what we did, because most people just think that hip hop on the West Coast started when NWA came out, and there was a lot of stuff out way before NWA. NWA was a group that obviously pushed the West Coast to the forefront, and they made a very big historical stamp. But it was a lot of stuff that went on, before that, and that's like in the Legend song where I say the first from the Left Coast sound of Def Jam. We was the first to go out to New York and actually make a mark as far as L.A. artists is concerned. And that's one thing I always like to stress and get across to people who know me, who may not know me, or just interested in just hearing some history on how LA hip hop actually came to be. Also, like I said, I really want to stress the fact of this grown man business project that I'm doing. I definitely, when we get a little closer to actually, putting it out, I'm definitely going to make sure I hit you. Hopefully, you'll have me back on. I'm definitely going to hit you with the record, the video, whatever I need to hit you with. Hopefully I can get your support on that.
Oh, most definitely, man.
I'll tell you this, man. I'm doing something as well. For a long time in hip hop, I wasn't really doing anything. It was, the business kind of, sapped the love out of it. And the cat that I'm doing the Grown Man Business project with, it's because of him, kind of made me find the love for hip hop again. Because it's not about, I'm not trying to sell 1 million records, although we'd love to all have 100 million downloads, streams, whatever the case may be. I'm just doing it now just because I just love doing it again. But I also have another solo project coming on as well. And it's going to be a pretty interesting project because my new project as a solo, it's a project called Who's Rodriguez. Anyone like when I say last name in Spanish, but I'm not a cholo, or from the play like a piano thing. So it's called Who's Rodriguez, and it's more of a live. It's like an older kind of adult contemporary live music feel. It's still very, very hip hop, but it's more live instruments, more of a focus on live music. Also, there's singing from people singing. I'm singing a little bit, not like singing like Drake or singing like some R&B or singer, but just singing to make it musical. But when I get a little closer to the finish, I'm like 7 songs deep in that project. But when I get a little closer to finishing and getting, I want to get the GMB project out first, and after that, I'll come back with my own solo project. But I'm definitely gonna keep y'all posted. I appreciate the love that, for you reaching out and even giving me an opportunity to tell my story, brother.
And I gotta say, man, you are most certainly welcome on that, man. And when your new project is done, it'd be an honor to have you back on, man. If it wasn't for individuals like yourself, man, we like a lot of these artists wouldn't be anything. Because after all, you guys paved the way for these individuals, man. And like you said, a lot of people think just NWA, but you got to go back, especially with Disco Daddy. I believe he was the very first West Coast hip hop artist. So you got to take it way back to the Disco Daddy days.
Exactly. And I mean, even after that, we talking about like Egyptian Lover, and people, and what's crazy? Egyptian Lover is still very huge, man. I just seen him the other day. He's still traveling the country, man. It's cool to get the story out, and it's also cool to talk to someone knowledgeable like you, man. Because man, you pulling out facts and dates and stuff like that. I'm like, man, this cat's on the ball. Where most people they know certain things, but they not on it like you. So kudos to you and your knowledge, man. You definitely on it, man. It was a pleasure, speaking to someone who know their shit,
Hey, man, I appreciate that, especially from such a legend like yourself, man. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I'm riding in the car to work or just chilling with the wife, man, I still listen to that L.A. Posse single, man, the one you did on the Tyson record, man. That's still my jam today, man. So I still bless the streets of Canada with that fire joint.
Hey, man, thank you, man. Thank you. It's a pleasure to hear that. It's funny, I obviously don't play it that much, but it's funny, whenever I hear it, when you was posting the flyers and stuff like that on the story and all that, and the music would come through. Like whatever I hear, I'd be like, damn, like wow. It's nostalgic for me to hear it all because I don't really get to hear it. I don't play it for myself that much no more, And obviously, I got some teenage kids and they ain't really trying to hear me. They on a different wavelength. They're like, yeah, that's dad's music. Yeah, whatever.
But before we part ways there, man, I have to ask, man, if you can, drop your social media handles, man. That way, if our listeners, they haven't already had the opportunity to follow you, man, they actually know where they can find you and stay updated on everything Breeze of the L.A Posse.
Perfect. On Facebook, it's Breeze LA. On Instagram, it's Sonny Guns, SONNYGUNZ 247. That's Instagram. That's going to change shortly. I'm going to change that to Breeze LA as well. Because I actually, made that before I was even thinking about promoting anything of myself. So it's Sonny Guns 247 on Instagram. Also, Grown Man Business LLC on Instagram as well. So y'all can check me out at those three places. We're going to start focusing more on the social media aspect. As I always tell everybody, look, man, I'm a little behind the times when it comes to, like, social media because, people record their whole life. I'm not one of them cats that records my whole life. I post here and there, but obviously, this is how the business works these days. So I'm going to have to, get a little bit more focus on making sure I put some more content out there. But definitely, you can always check with those. I definitely will be posting more content soon. Matter of fact, y'all might want to log on tonight. I'm going to probably go live on Sonny Guns 247 tonight. The Alcoholics got a show tonight, and I'm actually hosting me and King T is hosting the after party. So y'all might see me on the live tonight, man. So y'all check me out.
Hey, man, I most definitely will keep my eyes peeled for that, man. You can't miss the after party live because you never know what happens at an after party.
Hey, exactly, and I want to make you feel like you right there, brother.
But I gotta say, Breeze, thank you so much, man, for just taking the time out of your evening, man, and just coming on 97.7 FM here in Canada, man. It definitely was an honor and most definitely a privilege, man. Thank you for making amazing classics that we all still enjoy today. But hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon. But for now, Breeze, definitely have yourself a wonderful night.
Hey, man, you do the same, brother. I got your number. You got mine. We're going to keep in touch, man. This is just the beginning. And just know, man, whatever you need from me, man, I'm here, man. Just holler.
Same thing goes for you. Anything you need that I can do for you, don't hesitate to give me a call, man. We definitely can make it happen.
I shall, brother. You be safe.
You as well. Thank you so much.
All right. Peace.